because we're much better live. Here we are.
And there we are.
What's the
Good morning,
opposite of
Vinnie.
live, Ed?
Yeah. It's a freaky Fractious Friday. He's New York Vinnie. I'm Michael Knight. Did I tell you it was Friday? I just want to re-emphasize that. Get that Friday vibe going. Get the weekend, kick the gate open to the weekend and begin the festivities.
It doesn't kind of it's funny because when you get older, you're kind of semi-retired and stuff. It doesn't feel the same as it does. When we were a certain age, you'd look toward Friday as let's go.
Escape, the end of reality, the beginning of
Right.
something new and exciting.
Going to get into a weekend of
Party.
insanity and be ready for Monday. But I don't know. It doesn't have the same pull to it that it used to because every day is Friday now.
Did you
I
get your
guess.
snow for the Freaky Friday?
There's no snow. It's cold enough, but it hasn't snowed as of yet. I'm on snow watch though. I'm here at the Mikey and Vinnie Weather Center.
And now let me guess, you took the Subaru to Portland.
No, I took the Audi. All things being equal, I said, I'll take the Audi. It's it is a more comfortable ride. It's a little luxury as opposed to
the German mixture of luxury and sport.
Yeah, that kind of grittiness that a Subaru has. Nothing against Subaru. I wanted to go luxury, so I went with the Audi. And
if you were going to spend time on the freeway, you want to be in luxury. You want to be in comfort.
I want it to be in I don't know, in something a little. And one of the things that I think about when I drive now, I never used to that much, but now I do, is if I'm getting on the highway, what's bigger?
Yeah.
What's and a Subaru certainly has great crash protection, but you want to have something. I think if you've got a choice, have something a little bit bigger. Just so you can, I don't know, so you can get something that has
a little more protection,
a little more substance to it than the Subaru. But again, the Subaru is a great car. I went with the Audi.
How did the Audi like the freeway?
Loved it. It's one of those cars that you set it and forget it. You hit the button and you sit back and you just keep one hand on the wheel and
set the controls for the heart of Portland.
Yep. Say, Portland, here we come. And that's exactly what we do. We go, Portland, here we come. And boom. It was a wet part of the way, dry part of the way. It was a freaky weather day. So it was good. Have you got your Springsteen tickets yet?
No, but it's going to be quite a tour. And I didn't hear the details. I assume he's taking the E Street Band.
Yes, he is taking the E Street Band.
Because the mood he's in, he's going to be putting on some classic shows.
Yeah, I mean, he always puts on classic shows. It's hard not to imagine that he does. I mean, I've seen, I can't even count the number of shows I've seen. I've never seen him put on a bad show. I've seen it. I've seen a couple of shows at the end of the tour that were, you could tell he was tired. He wasn't jumping around as he always does. But I just, I'm probably going to wind up going, but I can't. It's impossible for my budget right now to afford it. At what tickets cost, and with
what's the round figure for a good seat?
Dynamic seating pricing. You get a decent seat. It's going to cost you $400, $500, $600. And for two tickets, that's $1,200. That's
It's an evening's entertainment.
Well, it's a little rich for my blood right now, So we'll have to search the aftermarket and put ourselves at the mercy of people. I wound up last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago, when I went up to Vancouver to see him on the closing day of his tour. That was just before Christmas, or just before Thanksgiving, actually. It was actually Thanksgiving week. Just kind of, I wound up getting a couple of tickets. I think they were $300 a piece, and they were good seats. So you wait it out. You see somebody will come along that either doesn't, can't go to the show or something like that, and seats will come up. I hope, and if not, he's not coming to Seattle. He's going to Portland, and then there's going to be another leg of the trip after that, of the tour. After that, this is like the first group of tickets of shows. He's going to be in Pittsburgh in April, I guess, and I guess I wouldn't mind seeing a show in Pittsburgh. So that'd be kind of fun. So I'm sure I'll wind up going to a show. I just I'm not going to get into the fray of bidding for tickets.
Well, on another matter that is related, you don't have to figure out the tariffs anymore to figure out what that car is going to cost you. After all the hue and cry of the taxes that were put upon the entire international trade agreements from here to there and back again, confusing Americans, confusing our friends, confusing the Canadians, destroying the pricing of new American cars. All that's been tossed into a handbasket now, or as they say, tossed into a cocked hat. As the Supreme Court says, those tariffs were illegal. Forget them, but roll them back, stop them. Impossible. Turn it off. And that's good news, except what are we going to do about the people who's paid those tariffs?
Well, for today, they're stopped. The Trump was quoted in the Times this morning as saying that he'll find a way to reinstall the tariffs, reinstitute the tariffs. So I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to figure some kind of subterfuge out, or some way to get them done, and they'll go back to the Supreme Court and reinstitute them. I don't know. I mean, do you see them giving people refunds on the tariffs? I don't.
I think they owe them the tariff. That's implied in this decision. And the interesting thing about it is they rely on the language in the Constitution that says only Congress can institute a tax. So he can try to figure out a way, but the problem is the means by which he put his tariffs into place and into action is a violation of the rule that only Congress can institute a tax. So however he twists his little scheme and justifies it for himself and for his supporters, it's still not going to meet the challenge of the language in the law, which says only Congress can do it. And of course, Congress is in a position where it can't do anything. The Democrats don't have the votes, and the Republicans don't have the will. So the combination is perfect for a dictator, a tyrant, a man of dark motivations like Trump. The idea that the Supreme Court took so damn long to figure it out didn't help, but the language is undeniable, and that's what they relied on to form the basis of their decision.
Well, it's nice that they finally figured that out. The harm that's been done to this country through these tariffs to our businesses is I don't know how you fix that. The idea that China has jumped into our place, our stead in many places, and said, "Well, we'll do business with you. We'll be more than happy to do business with you."
Starting with our new electric cars. Here, get behind the
yeah,
wheel.
starting with our cars. We'll send you
Go for a
some
test
cars over to
drive.
Canada, and you'll love them. And you can send us some technology, and so the irreparable harm that's been done to our trade. Now, I know the stock market was up this morning. I don't know how far it was up. So Wall Street is reacting good to it. But again, I don't know what his it's really kind of hard to even figure out what the hell. Oh, now the Dow, let's see. Dow is down 7 points. Not dollars, but 7 points. Christy Nome, you freaking idiot. Apple is up, and the Standard & Poor's is up 24 points. So,
if you can hear me, Vinnie, I can't hear you. Something happened.
at this moment,
there you go. I hear you now.
Yeah. At this moment, there is Trump is addressing the media, which ought to be a shit show in itself.
He's been so lame in his comments lately that it's hard to keep him on message. He doesn't know what he's talking about half the time.
Well, and really the reality is, when's the time he has been? He has been on message. They can't keep him on message. They couldn't keep him on message in the first term. What makes them think they're going to keep him on message in the second term? But he doesn't need to be on message, because he doesn't do what his message is. He does completely and totally different things. So I don't know, I don't know different things that he's saying he's going to do, or different things that there's no stability. And that I would think in business hurts this country more than anything else. It's not just that he's putting the tariffs on, but that that the whole issue, the whole thing is so unstable.
The whole environment is chaotic. Doesn't make sense.
He did something earlier this week that we didn't talk about, and that is, I think, going to cause irreparable harm to this country and to the world and to the planet. And, he virtually told automakers, forget all that stuff about pollution and air pumps and catalytic converters, and just forget about all of that. And if you're a coal burning plant, fire it up, man. Dig more coal out of the ground. The day that he was giving the Friend of Coal award by the coal industry, ordered the Pentagon to use coal producing energy sources as their source for energy. So in not too long of a time, you'll see stacks with coal burning, and it's so odd, because we used to see the pictures of Pittsburgh and how dank it was and dark it was. And then when we cleaned up our ranks, our act, we would see the pictures of China. And now China has stricter environmental regulations than we do. They are the country that is pushing clean air, clean water, electric cars, atomic energy. I mean, they still have a large number of coal-fired plants, don't get me wrong, but they are trying to make the transition from coal to wind and to more economic and more cleaner, greener forms of energy. And we're throwing it all out. We're the ones that set the damn pace for it. We're the ones that brought upon the world the idea of clean energy.
Well, one aspect of that, the measures in place to ensure the clean energy is for the future, is here in California, where you can't sell a car unless it meets certain standards. And if you want to be part of the California car market, you will manufacture your cars to our standards, our state standards, or you won't sell them here at all. You can just take your Cadillacs and try and sell them all in Illinois. Take your Cadillacs and see how many you can sell in Wyoming. Get back to me on that. But you can't sell them in California unless you meet our standards. And we're not willing to go Trump style and have coal burning Chevrolets. Not going to happen.
Well, yeah, for the moment, but as we saw the earlier this year, or was it late last year? I think it was late last year. The federal government threw out. There used to be an exemption. California can do that because they got an exemption years and years and years ago from dictating the federal rules. In other words, all 50 states are supposed to be uniform. But California got an exemption because of the smog in LA. They wound up getting an exemption. So they can dictate stricter rules. And as a rule, the car companies went along with that in the other 49 states. They want to sell cars in California. But that exemption has recently been thrown out. Supreme Court again said California, the other 49 states don't have to abide by that. And California can't have that exemption anymore. So nobody's moved on it yet. But at some point, somebody is going to say, well, we don't have to build a car that runs clean. Now, the car enthusiasts, they're all thinking that the smog stations are going to disappear. You're not going to have to get your car smogged anymore. Or you're not going to have to, get the pollution control stuff in a car anymore. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think that something along the lines of trashing some of these environmental things will happen, and California will have their hands tied. Now, I'm sure that I haven't spoken to a lawyer, so I don't know, and I'm not a lawyer, obviously. There are ways. California is preparing some kind of legal thing to go up against that, an appeal to that particular ruling. But for the time being, as I said, nobody's making any quick moves here, because what's going to happen is Trump's going to get voted out of office, or you're going to have a Democratic Congress, and all these rules will be put back in. So nobody's quite moving quickly yet. But if by chance, and this is something for people to think about, if by chance people vote the Republicans back in, this stuff will go away. It'll be codified. It'll be gone. And then it'll be years before you're able to put this stuff back in. Because then the car makers will go, well, we got at least, we'll have 2 more years here and 4 more. Don't forget that the cycle to build a car, you're looking at what you're going to do today is going to affect 5 years down the road of what you're going to see in showrooms. Automakers are under pressure to make less expensive cars. Well, what's one way you can make a less expensive car? throw the pollution controls out.
Well,
Or as many of them.
I just don't think California's under any obligation to accept the stupid law, and they will not allow those cars for sale within the state. And the auto industry can go fuck itself, and we'll sell Chinese cars here.
Well, and that may happen, but it's not a slam dunk, is what I'm telling you. Is that politics is going to have a lot to do with this. And I believe, just by looking at how the election goes, that this upcoming midterm will determine that. Because if you get Democrats in, and who are more likely to vote on these rules and reinstate these rules and codify them, make them law, it'll get it'll set the auto industry to thinking that, okay, well, we have to plan ahead. We're going to have to keep these pollutants, keep these anti-smog things in. We shouldn't take them out. Don't forget the biggest anti-smog thing that the auto industry has done in the last 100 years was an abject failure for the auto industry, and that is electric cars. So and again, it goes to what I said before, Michael. If you have this kind of instability in business, and I'm sure it's not just cars, it's other businesses too. If you throw all of these rules out, which have been there for so long, which have proven to cut down greenhouse gases, which has proven to cut down water pollution, which has proven to cut down all of the things that in 1960, in the 60s, were killing us. I mean, this guy has virtually allowed a death warrant for this country and the world by saying, go ahead, pollute the water, go ahead, drill for more oil in places, pollute the water, do all of this crazy stuff.
Saying that the concept of dirty air is a hoax anyway. It's just a hoax. We've fallen for a sack of jive, and there's no such thing as air pollution. Donald Trump will figure it out for you. Dr. Trump has got it all.
It's Pittsburgh, the smog thing that killed, I don't know, what was it, 10 people or 12 people in Donora, Pennsylvania in the 50s. The smog that hung over Pittsburgh in the 60s, in the 70s, that's a hoax. That didn't happen. You need to have that. You need to dump chemicals into the Allegheny River. Salt Lake City.
You got three rivers to choose from. You dump it in this river today, dump it in the second river tomorrow, and then on Friday you got a third river that you can pollute. And
you can rotate them.
No one's going to complain or notice, or there'll be no downside to your level of pollution. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's insane. And I don't know. I mean, do people... I lost a lot of faith in this country, and I will be very honest with you. The pandemic made me lose a lot of faith in this country because I always thought deep in my heart that people would ultimately put saving lives over money. The fact or
their belief in a single maniac leader.
Yeah, that people would say it is more important to save people's lives, to give people a safe environment, than it is to make money. But COVID blew that all out of the water. When a leader didn't want to admit to it, when people wouldn't wear masks, when people wouldn't take the vaccine
or be tested
so that there would be a safer environment, when you had the means to not have as many people die as died during COVID, you had the ability to do something about that. And yet they chose let people die. They would have hid it if they could.
As the prudent alternative, we choose death and ignorance over a way to treat this sickness.
Yeah.
We're not going to do the
And so I don't have the faith
medical.
anymore in this country that we won't do that again. I don't have the faith that this country will turn around and say, well, this is really hurting people. We need to stop doing it. We need to err on the side of saving lives. We need to err on the side of not killing people for energy. I mean, look at what they. I mean, how many people in Pennsylvania? You know, when you live in Pennsylvania, you become extremely aware of black lung disease. There are hospitals and wards in hospitals that are dedicated to it. You can't go too far in Pittsburgh without having a neighbor who either has black lung disease, had a relative with black lung disease, and certainly grandparents or parents that died by black lung disease. You don't get past it. It's like people that live near a nuclear plant and their microwaves work 2 times as fast. You live with it. You see it. You see what the human cost is of some of these foolish energy things when there are alternatives out there. When there are other means to produce energy besides ones that harm us. And yet, for political gain, we don't acknowledge them. We don't institute them. And when you have a president or a Congress or somebody that does, I don't understand how Republicans aren't up in arms about this. I don't understand how people aren't up in arms about it.
Fear and loathing. They do not dare raise their hand and ask a question of the leader right now. Der Fuhrer is not in a good mood.
By the way, somebody wrote in, let's see, no more electrician cars. So electric cars, I think they're saying. No, we're still going to have electric cars. They're coming. They're the future. Electric cars are going to be part of our future. No matter how you want to dice it up, they are here to stay. What has hurt the electric car, I believe, more than anything right now, is the political environment. The president who has said that they are a hoax. At the same time, that his buddy was at the White House saying he would buy an electric car. By the way, I don't know that he ever bought one. So you have an idiot running a country that speaks out of both sides of his mouth. And that's where we're at. And on top of it, we're blockading Cuba.
Well, get ready, Cuba. They got plans for you. I don't know if they're going to do Iran first. It's a interesting combination where at least we're prepared militarily to surround Iran. The Straits of Hormuz, the waterways, the airspace over Iran, all will be claimed by us as some sort of a preeminent safety zone so that they can't hurt themselves or anyone else. And the U.S. Army is going along with it, accepting this as normal procedure. It's their chance to invade a country. These are officers and leaders and generals who haven't had their war yet. This is their chance for a war. Nice long 10-year involvement, invasion, regime change, putting in bases, flooding the zone with troops on the ground, controlling the air, killing the leaders. It's going to be great fun for the Army. They can't wait. They're excited about the opportunity that Trump is giving them. And so not a peep out of them, except to say, yes, sir, and prepare for war with Greenland, Cuba, Venezuela, Iran, Iraq, anybody you choose. Make a long list. We'll get to them all.
Sounds awful. Sounds awful Hitleristic to me.
The best thing is have two fronts going at once. That's a certain way to fail in your efforts, and that's what they have planned. Trump will come up with some harebrained scheme, and the army, realizing it's a complete fantasy and a tragedy in the making, will say, "Yes, sir, let's go." Can't wait.
It's it's pretty amazing. It's pretty ugly. Pretty amazing. It's unbelievable that we're in a position where within a week or two we could be fighting a war in Cuba, or fighting or going in. You're not going to fight a war. I mean, they don't have enough people to defend themselves. We're going to wind up. I've always said that Cuba will become the 51st state before Puerto Rico does. And I start to really believe that. I start to really, really think. I mean, if you wanted to, if you were Trump and his boys, and you wanted to take over a country and put resorts in there and put, do all of that stuff that they're talking about in Gaza, what better place could you do it than Cuba? 90 miles off the coast.
It's worked before. History has shown us that people like the 90-mile access to gambling and a lifestyle
short trip.
Yeah.
Beautiful beaches that are, for the most part, untouched. A great, a nice country with a lot of history, a lot of places to see, a lot of places to go, and a dictatorship that has not served the people as they said. I mean, you knew something was going to happen once Castro was gone. I'm surprised that we haven't gone in there anyway, but now we're blockading Cuba, and it won't be long before they'll be on it. Within a couple of weeks, they'll be on their knees. I mean, they're on their knees now. There's no hospitals have canceled surgeries. They don't have enough fuel. They don't have enough fuel to power water pumps. They don't have enough food. They can't run the tractors that do the little farming they have. So, yeah, they're going to come to their knees. I mean, they'd be stupid not to. They'd be better off saying, hey, you know what? We'll be we'll come in and take us over. Do what you did in Venezuela. Come in and take us over and feed us and send send food, send money, send girls.
We don't send the food until we get some starting pitching out of the Cuban rotation.
Right, and get the ball players into the thing. You already have a league here. You could have a third major league.
Yeah.
In Cuba. By the way, baseball starts today. There will be baseball, I believe, on TV today. I know definitely tomorrow. But I think there's a couple of games on the MLB channel today. So
a little spring training action.
Trump says he'll impose a 10% global tariff under a different trade authority.
Just 10%. What happened to all the other figures that he figured out for each?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the authority is. I don't know what he's.
Well, he made it up this morning, whatever it is. This is something he just pulled out of the hat.
Wait. President Trump announces additional 10% global tariff on top of the normal tariffs already being charged.
He didn't pay attention to the ruling whatsoever. He's just making this shit up as he goes along. And I'm sure he came up with that 10% just by pulling it out of his ass. He's gone around the bend. He's gone around the bend, ladies and gentlemen. There's got to be some way to slow down this mania, because he couldn't institute the first tariff. Now he's putting 10% on top of it, completely disregarding the fact that it just got shut down, that tariff that he's adding the 10% to doesn't exist anymore. He completely missed the point of the ruling that only Congress can do this.
Well, he says that the Supreme Court has been swayed by foreign interests.
Yeah, that's what.
So he says that the Supreme. So whether it's through fear or respect or friendships, I don't know. But I know that some of the people that were involved on the other side, and I don't like them, I think they're real slime balls. So he's in essence calling the Supreme Court that he
put together
had a large part in forming slime balls.
Yeah.
Could you imagine any president calling the Supreme Court slime balls?
Well, they have more work to do, and it's not going to be good for him. The rule of law rears its ugly head in Trump's life on a regular basis, and it's always disturbing, and it's always upsetting, and it's always met with this disparaging remarks and personal slander that has not cost him anything so far. He's able to say what he wants about people and make conclusions about their character and get away with it every time. It's not going to be the case here. He's going to have to meet the legal wall that's going to stop him and the dark, terrible people around him that facilitate his vision. They have to be stopped, and the best way to do it is legally. So let's understand that this first step can't be followed by just another tariff. That's the misreading of the conclusion that the Supreme Court came to. And it's simple enough. The president can't make taxes. He can only ask Congress to do it. And Trump won't ask Congress to do anything because this is his will. This is the end product, the resource of his great financial economic mind. The tariffs are going to be the solution to everything, where in fact they are the basis for the chaos so that no one anywhere in the world understands what they owe us or what their goods are going to cost. And now 10% on top of that. On top of what? If it's been shut down, there's no 10% on top of anything. It's 10% from the beginning. It's a new tax, a new tariff, as illegal as the last one.
Evidently, one of the justices, I'm just kind of glancing this real quickly, Kavanaugh, according to this, gave Trump a roadmap. He was one of the dissenting judges. He gave Trump a roadmap on how he could impose tariffs. I guess there are still ways that he could impose tariffs under certain acts, certain laws or something. And so,
according to a minority opinion.
Right. According to three guys, the three Republicans. It's interesting that the split on this is it was a 6-3 decision. Thomas,
Alito.
Alito and Kavanaugh were dissenting, and he praised them as true patriots and heroes. And the other ones, he said, are disgraceful people. What a maroon. What an absolute maroon. He's like a little kid.
He's a joke.
When he doesn't get his way, he's like a little kid. Well, you're just that.
You said
your mother. Your mother. Why don't you just stand up there and say your mother? It is a joke, and it's really again, if you're running a car company right now, how the hell do you know what to do? If you're running any business that a small business that imports stuff from China or anywhere, how do
Yeah.
you know what to do? How do you know what to charge for things that you're importing? How do you know if you're going to get a tariff? How do you know if you're going to get your money back? If you're not going to get your money back?
And
I mean, he's running this country
the voice of
like he
authority
ran
that
his
should
office.
give you guidance is Trump's, which gives guidance to no one. It just magnifies the chaos and the ignorance and the willingness to just make up a story on the spot.
Well,
It's
hopefully people will.
painful to watch.
Yeah, hopefully people will see this and understand it and do something about it. I mean, that's what has to happen is that people have to get sick of this stuff. I mean, I thought they were sick of it after the first term. I thought they were sick of the instability and the lies that led to uh, an epidemic that was probably made much worse than it should have been. And you just wonder at some point, people are going to start to say, listen, this is too crazy. I'm a conservative and I don't want to see, I don't want the government to run wild, but I want the government to be responsible for certain things. And this government's not responsible for anything. It
It's
doesn't
never their
take
fault. It's never,
responsibility.
and they never accept responsibility for anything except for the success that they invent and the end result, which they lie about. But Vinny, it's Friday. I wonder what you're driving this week.
Oh well, I'm driving that Audi Q5, which is a fun little. Like I said, I took it down to Portland yesterday and back, and it was a great little ride. Quattro, all-wheel drive, grips the road perfect in wet weather, snow, whatever I encountered on the way down. Comfortable. I am a little upset that it doesn't have the massaging seats, but when you put it into you put it into that sport drive, the suspension adjusts and the whole car just sits down and grips the road. Then if you're going to go a little bit off road, if you're going to go up to the woods, it lifts up and the suspension goes up, so you have enough clearance. But a very comfortable car, very easy car to drive.
You were in Portland because of the car show?
For the Portland Portland Auto Show. That was yesterday. And then tomorrow, we're going to have a gentleman on from Honda going to tell us what they're up to. Honda has had a little bit of trouble selling cars lately for some reason.
They were a big sponsor for the Olympics this year.
Yeah. I don't know why, because they have some great product. And they've been getting I don't understand what's going on with Honda as far as why.
How are the reviews? Are their cars being met well with?
Well, no. See, I mean, the new Prelude has not been met well, and I think it's a product much more of this. I got to get clicks on YouTube. So I'm not going to say anything good about a car. I'm going to say all the bad stuff that I can find about the car, and I'm going to magnify it. And I'm going to, I'm going to destroy it. I mean, I think the Honda Prelude, now I haven't driven one yet, so I'm coming at this from just purely a looking but I think it's a good solid car, and a car that people liked. People loved when it was out the last time. Uh, they brought it back. It's supposed to be a very good handling car. Have a good engine. I mean, Honda's a great car. I mean, ask anybody
Yeah.
that owns one of their HRVs or the other larger SUV.
Known for its dependability and well made and
Yeah,
long
they
lasting.
make great pickup trucks. Their pickup trucks are smaller and they're car like. Yet they have a pickup bed on it. It's a great truck. And I don't know. I just don't know why. Their SUVs are the Pilot. Those are solid SUVs, man. I mean, if you're going to go out and it's interesting. The one thing I notice about Hondas, we'll talk more about this tomorrow, is the tech on Hondas is there, but they have found ways to I think, simplify it so that it's not as insane as, like, you get into the Audi, you need a lesson in the computer to drive that thing. But once you get it, you'll get it. But you need a little while. The Hondas, you get in and you go boop, 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 and go. And they have
Maybe the market is crowded and it's difficult to get your message out.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. I mean, some of it is that, listen, the Koreans have really, Hyundai and Kia have really come up with a great product. It's a reliable product. They give you more equipment, more value in their product than most other cars. And I think that they've cut into Honda considerably. I think that if you look at people who cross shop, who go look at a Honda and then go to a Kia or a Hyundai showroom, I think you'll find a lot of people opting for a Hyundai or a Kia. One thing with the Hyundai and the Kia is they have a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the powertrain.
Honda does not.
And Honda does not. Honda's 3 years. I think they're 3 years. So when you give people that kind of security in a car,
Makes a difference.
It means that if this engine blows up on me at 60,000 miles or 70,000 miles, you're going to take it.
That's when the timing belt used to go. Remember timing belts?
Yeah.
They would always go around 60. If they were going to go, they'd go around 60.
Yeah, and Honda was famous for blowing timing belts, but it was an easy fix. And they, I forget, was it that they used plastic instead of? There was something with Hondas that they used a plastic timing belt, I think, instead of a rubber timing belt, or they used rubber and it stretched out. It was something like that. I mean, so long ago that I've kind of forgotten. But again, you're dealing with a company, that in Hyundai and Kia that give you this long warranty. And if you're buying a car, let's face it, you see that warranty, it figures into it.
Sure it does.
It makes you think about that car. It makes you think, well, do I want to get something that's that I have some insurance, if you will, that the car's going to be better, that the car's going to be good, that if something goes wrong with the car, that they're going to fix it. And 10 years, 100,000 miles is the most substantial warranty in the business. So,
well, Vinnie, we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. What do you say?
I will be here tomorrow at 11 o'clock and watch some baseball today, Michael.
Good idea. That's good for the soul. Get you understanding the pace once again. No
Yes,
more football. The football pace put aside and embrace the baseball pace.
it boils things down to a nice slower pace. And by the way, I see that Rafael Devers is having a good spring training camp so far. He's getting along with his teammates.
Yeah, he's made a good adjustment, and
So,
he's part of a whole new infield. In the last 3 years, the Giants have completely remade their infield: third, short, second, and first, all new guys. Not the catchers, not the pitchers, but the position players are all new faces, and I trust that we're going to be able to put together some wins, be a steady team, contribute to the mania of Dodger baseball running the entire National League West. Of course, it's true at this point, but it doesn't mean it'll stay that way. Wait till injuries rear their heads, let baseball shake out, the teams put together their best lineups. Let's see some baseball. Let's see some winning. Let's see some Giants hit the damn ball. There's no other way. If you can't hit the ball, you can't win. I've studied the game, Vinnie, and I asked you last year if there was a way to win without scoring runs, because the Giants were trying it last year. The Mets tried it a couple times too, and there's no way.
It doesn't work. You can't do it. You have to score. You have to score runs, and you have to score more runs than the other guy does.
That's an important point, because the Giants sometimes would just score one run and hope that would stand.
And if you don't do that, you're in trouble. It's a proven fact. You can look it up.
You could look it up.
You can look it up. All right. I'll see you on Monday if the Lord's willing, the creek don't rise.
Have a good weekend, man. Have a good show.
All right, Mikey. Take care of yourself. Peace, love, and Manischewitz, baby.
What a wine, baby.
What a wine. All right, Mikey. Take care. Thank you all for listening, too. Have a good one.